Operation Femme Fatale. You did what? I glared at my partner through the screen, my patience wearing thin as he leaned back in his chair, looking way too pleased with himself. Relax, Kay, he said, chewing on a pen. I just did a little creative problem solving. We had nothing but a dating profile, so I set up multiple fakes using your face in different styles and outfits to see which one he'd go for. I crossed my arms. My face? Without telling me? Details, details. He waved a hand dismissively. Anyway, he picked this one. Long brown hair, black tube dress. So now we match reality to expectation. I looked down at myself, at the ridiculously tight dress hugging my body, at the sheer pantyhose stretching over my legs, at the way the ankle boots gave me a slight lift. The long brown wig tickled my shoulders, unfamiliar but strangely fitting the role I was being forced into. You could have at least given me a less revealing option, I muttered, adjusting the dress again. Hey, don't blame me. He made the choice. My partner smirked. You're his type. Lucky you. I sighed, rubbing my temples. Our client had come to us asking for help locating her long-lost brother. She'd stumbled upon a profile on a dating site that looked like him, but without direct contact, there was no way to be sure. So our job? Find him. Confirm his identity. The plan was simple. Meet him under the fake persona, plant a tracker, and find out where he lived. No threats, no danger. Just intelligence gathering. But of course, my partner had made sure I had to do it in a tight dress and heels. I shot him a glare. You owe me for this. He grinned. Drinks on me after. Now get moving. He's already at the park. The morning air was crisp, carrying the scent of fresh-cut grass and distant coffee from a nearby cafe. Sunlight filtered through the trees, casting warm patterns along the pavement. It was peaceful, quiet, the kind of setting perfect for a casual morning date. Except I wasn't on a date. I was walking into an assignment, squeezed into a dress that felt like a second skin, hyper-aware of the way my body moved in it. The heels forced me into shorter, more deliberate strides, adding an unfamiliar rhythm to my walk. The sheer pantyhose brushed against each step, the smooth fabric making my movements feel more refined, controlled. I wasn't just walking, I was performing. The strangest part? It didn't feel entirely unnatural. The long brown wig swayed slightly as I moved, strands occasionally catching the light breeze. I caught a glimpse of myself in a shop window as I passed. Elegant posture, soft curves, perfectly styled hair. For a moment, I barely recognized myself. I shook the thought away and refocused. The target was already there, seated on a bench, casually dressed in a white shirt and jeans. He had a coffee in one hand, scrolling through his phone with the other. It was time. I smoothed down the dress, took a calming breath, and approached with a well-practiced smile. Morning, I greeted, keeping my voice light, effortless. He looked up, eyes settling on me. There was a flicker of something. Recognition? Interest? He smiled. Morning, he replied, setting down his cup. You're even prettier in person. I let out a soft, practiced laugh, tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. You're sweet. We talked, and to my surprise, the conversation wasn't strained. He was intelligent, well-spoken, more perceptive than I expected. He wasn't overeager or dismissive. He listened. His eyes studied me, not in a way that made me uncomfortable, but in a way that made me aware of myself, of him, of the careful balance between deception and reality. And the longer we spoke, the stranger it felt. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was intriguing. When a golden leaf drifted down and landed in his hair, I saw my opportunity. Hold still, I murmured, reaching up. My fingers brushed his temple as I plucked the leaf away. A soft, casual touch. I lingered just long enough to see if he reacted. His gaze flickered. just for a moment, before he offered a polite smile. Thanks. He was either naturally composed or just as cautious as I was. I needed a better opening. You ever play hide and seek as a kid? I asked suddenly. His brow lifted. Not in a long time. Why? I smiled. Because I bet I could outrun you. His smirk widened. Oh, really? I took off before he could respond. The game was simple. Create movement. A reason for proximity. He gave chase, steady, not rushing. I weaved between trees, my laughter slipping out naturally. Too naturally. Then, on cue, I let out a soft gasp and stumbled onto the grass. As expected, he was at my side in an instant. Are you all right? His hands caught my waist, steadying me, keeping me from falling further. Our faces were close, closer than I anticipated. There was warmth, stability, and for the briefest second, I felt something unfamiliar. A flicker of something thrilling. I swallowed, my mind snapping back into focus. This was the moment. With the flick of my fingers, I slipped the tiny tracker onto the collar of his shirt. Mission accomplished. I let out a breathless laugh, stepping back. Guess you win this round. He chuckled. Try not to fall so easily next time. I smiled, brushing myself off before turning away, my heels clicking softly against the pavement. But as I walked off, my thoughts lingered. I'd done my job. And yet, something felt off. Not wrong, not unpleasant, just different. And that was what unsettled me the most.